into another election. So, have you made a decision about who you're going to support?
I'm not sure how to answer that question, to be honest with you.
Have you made a decision?
I haven't.
What do you see as the significance of African American men in this election for both of you?
I see them identifying with Trump.
Why do you say that?
Because they got RICO charges.
Hey, Donald Trump. He went to a black barber shop today. He talked to the natives. He made some promises. Said some good things. We're gonna listen in. So as always, let's get after it.
Oh, actually, hold on one second. Hello. Hey, Mr. President, how you doing? Well, I'm going to put you on speaker, but actually a great question just came up. We're talking about regulations and some of the things that can be done to alleviate the regulation burdens on a lot of businesses. But I'm going to put you on speakerphone for everybody.
Dude, I just got to say, Trump calling the barbershop is so fucking funny to me. I don't know why it's funny to me. And the way Byron picked up the phone, like, yo, you know, I'm just getting a call from the fucking president, big number 45, about to be 47. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much. It's a little bit too much. And don't I ain't sleeping on that poster. I know the surrender poster. I know what that is. They need to show me that, but I know that poster. That's a Trump poster. So they went to the right bar. They put the right Ben Carson sitting over here in the corner. That's what I'm saying. If Ben Carson is Byron Donald's mentor and Wesley Hunt's mentor, we got to go in. And plus, this is the time and age where black men need to see these types of black men and not just the Nick Cannons and the 50 Cents then came around. But like Nick Cannons and the Futures, those type of men, they need to see established, strong black men that can hold their own to aspire to. Because all our children should not want to be Pookies and Ray Rays. They should want to be Wesleys and Donalds. You know what I'm saying? These men help me see it out. I'm from Venice, California. I am a black hippie, but I look at these men with pride. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to bring my flavor to the conservatism, but let's get back to the call. I know, let's get back to the call. This is it. You know what? I'm gonna take a call from the president. Byron, you're too funny.
Hold on a second. All right, everybody, you're on with the president.
Hello, Mr. President.
Hey, Mr. President.
Hello, everybody. It's great to be with you. I hope I'm being well represented. I have a feeling I am. I know them very well. So I hope so.
No, you are, sir. But a question came up about regulations. And so what's your view of what we need to do with regulations when you come back into office?
Well, as you know, I cut taxes and regulations more than any other president. We had the biggest tax cut, bigger even than the Reagan tax cuts. And I also cut regulations far more than any other president. And they have put a lot of them back already. We will get them cut so fast. And you know, it's very interesting when I went to business leaders and said, which was more important, these big tax cuts or these big regulation cuts? Almost every one of them said regulation cuts. And it made a big difference to their businesses, small businesses and big businesses. Great question.
Awesome. Anybody else got a question for the president? I mean,
I want to tell him that black folks will vote for him to get gas under $1.
All right, so Mr. President, the statement, I'm not going to call it a question, the statement is black folks are voting for you if you get gas under $1.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, I got it pretty close. For a little while, you know, we talk about $1.87, and now it's on its way up. As you see what's going on. I'm seeing $4. I'm seeing $4.50, depending on where you buy it. But we actually had it to $1.87, and we had it to $1.52 at one point. You know, different points. But we had the gasoline as low as it's been in a long time. So I don't know if I can guarantee $1, but we're going to get it as low as we can. And that's
You see that? I like that. Don't make no false promises. Just go in there and tell them what you're doing. And you are doing it. It's easy to get it under $1 here. Open up American Energy. What's going to be hard about American Energy is that we got all these liberal terrorists here that want to... It's frustrating, but We have a lot of liberal terrorists here. And they will make it very difficult for us to unleash American energy because they're so worried about climate change in America. So that's the most thing I'm worried about, that when we get back to putting our boys back to work, think about all the factories, oil refineries, all the things that oil leads into, everything that we're having to import here because we won't make it here. Think about how many men will go back to work and get good money. Oh, I'm saying if we open up American energy will unleash prosperity into the hardworking man's pockets. We all know that. That's what happened in Trump's 4 years that people don't want to talk about. Maybe the liberals felt like that was a strain on them because they want to keep, us toxic masculine men under wraps from being able to provide for ourselves so we can be under this new level of matriarchy they try to run the society under, which is not going to work. It has destroyed civilization for millennia. We're not letting it happen here. But unleash American energy will unleash a workforce in America that will be able to, hardworking men will get back to work and start taking care of their businesses and their families. Man, we need Trump back in office. And that's what's important about the gas price going down. Well, at least that's my perspective on it.
Big spur for the economy. The lower you get it, that's a big spur for the economy.
Hey, Mr. President, it's Wesley Hunt here. How you doing, sir?
Hi, Wesley.
I got a question for you. You've been talking a lot about no tax on tips. If you can kind of talk about that and what impact that would have, not just on the black community, but on everyone. I think it's a winner for all of us, and it's your idea. So if you can kind of talk about that, that'd be great, sir.
So about a month ago, I was at my building in Las Vegas having dinner with some big people, business people that were, planning some big developments and things. And the waitress came over and said, how you doing? And she said, oh, the government is after me all the time for my tax on tips. I said, really, they do that? He said, yeah, Biden just made the regulations much tougher. And it's very tough nowadays, tax on tips. And I said, how would you like to be no tax on tips? Because first of all, it's very hard, it's a very hard thing to control from the government standpoint. But the people are very unhappy about what's happening, especially the new regulations. And anyway, I just came up with the concept of no tax on tips.
Okay, I know I'm interrupting the president, but I just want to throw this in there while I have it on my mind. It's not the cash tax, the cash tips. Cash tips, man, I work in restaurants. People, come on, they pocket cash tips all the time, but it's credit card tips. Credit card tips is where it's really hitting them because right now, not that many people carry cash anymore. So, if they can take the cash on tips and people get them credit card tips clean, scot-free of the government, going right into their pocket, man, that is a building block. And I read a study that there are 630,000 people in the service industry. It's something like that. I'm not talking about back of the house. I'm talking about front of the house. So that's a very big voting block that Trump just tapped into by that. And I know a lot of people, especially with so many of these restaurant chains closing, that they really need that tip money. So that's very good. And like I said, any money not going to the government is good to the individual. Less government is good. People want to keep our own money. And everything that Biden is doing right now is to create a bigger government. And government employees don't sell anything. They take. That's all government employees do. Take. Not saying, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working for the government. Just understand that your job doesn't provide to the economy like a business owner would, or an independent contractor would, or an entrepreneur would. Your job feeds the machine. And that's just a fact. Now back to the president.
Let the people earn what they earn. And I'll tell you, it has been so popular beyond anything. I've never seen anything like it. So we have no tax on tips. Vote for Trump, no tax on tips.
Hey, Mr. President, we have Ben Carson's here with us.
Hey, Mr. President, how you doing?
Hi, Ben. I'm good, Ben.
What you said about the regulations is so important. At HUD, we were able to get rid of over 2,000 regulations.
Right.
It made it so much easier to get things done in general. But I just want to encourage you to continue to speak out because the attacks on you have been absolutely ridiculous. we're praying that God will give you the strength to bear it because you're standing in there for all of us.
Well, the attacks have been unbelievable, what they say, and, they'll take a speech where I'll be out rallying, a perfect speech for an hour and a half, 2 hours. We have big crowds. We had over 100,000 people, 107 to be exact, in Wildwood, New Jersey. We had 25,000 in the South Bronx. We have 88,000 in South Carolina. We have tremendous crowds, and you'll make a perfect speech. And this lowlife Biden will take the speech, him and his people, and they'll cut sentences out, cut words out, cut sentences out. Oh, Trump, look, you didn't make a good speech. You didn't make a good speech. And I do them largely without teleprompter. I don't need a teleprompter. He can't read a teleprompter. But these people are nasty. They're really horrible people. They really are. It's a shame. It's a shame. And I've campaigned a lot over years, not even, for myself, but in particular, I've campaigned against some pretty bad people for others. But there's never been anything like this. They make up things. Suckers and losers, which was never said. They know it. They make it up. They literally make it up. You saw it with the 51 intelligence agents where they said that they got this done, where they said that the Hunter laptop from hell was all Russian disinformation. And, it's just a total made-up thing. These people, so you're right about that, Ben, when you say it. It really is a shame of shame. But the people understand it. We're leading in every poll, and we're leading every swing state. And one just came out, I guess, Nate Silver, the New York Times, that we have close to a 66% chance of winning, which is a pretty good chance, I guess, when you think about it, right?
And that's another thing that I want to say. I'm pretty sure these type of lawfare was done in the past. I'm pretty sure this is not the first administration to practice lawfare against their political opponents. It is that in America, it was not blatant. We came off as virtuous and one of the best judicial systems. That of all time. I get a lot of black men from the Black Panthers on down the list can identify with what happens when the system's against them. Look, from Malcolm X to Martin Luther King, all those assassinations, we get it. We get it. So we understand that lawfare and that political system being used against us. We just didn't think that it would be used against the president or against one of their own, so to speak. And on top of all that, we didn't know the mechanisms of it. It's just that in the age of instant information and there's a camera everywhere and everybody's always trying to dock somebody, figure something out, get a clickbait, get a click moment, everything got put in front of our faces like never before. And I don't think the Biden administration really understands that. We see you, dog. We see what you're doing. And you guys are so trapped in your personal bubbles. Like, Biden is not having this conversation. He's going to clickbait zones till I call them the marching minions. They're saying they're going to be on the plantation forever. He goes there. Trump's everywhere now. He's going every place. Places I never would have thought he was going to go. And he's sending out very credible men to go out there for him. It's very hard for black men to sit in democratically ran areas and speak for Donald Trump. It's hard. And they're doing it. And these guys are strong. Look at that, man. And I know the dude right here in the white t-shirt, I can feel the uncomfortable it is knowing he's sitting around this level of conservative. It's not normal because, like, when you've been on the plantation for so long, you probably could see these guys as sellouts, but they're not sellouts. They bought into America. And that's what you have to buy into. You're not buying into conservative. You're not buying into Republican. You're buying into the prosperity of America. That's what Trump represents right now. And it's not just him. His entire cabinet that's coming with them under the umbrella of MAGA wants to make America great. That's it. We're tired of Dixiecrats, rhinos, old school Republicans, liberals, progressives. We're tired. We don't want that anymore. We want people that really die-hardly want to see America great, want to see all of our citizens prosper. And the only person giving us that type of conversation is Trump. So, like, as I can feel the unease in here, but I can also feel that this is where it starts from. Change is uncomfortable, but you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable to grow. And for all these men that allow Trump to sit here, even though I can tell they're supporters, but they got to go back into their communities, and they're going to be called names. They're going to be, but I know strength when I see it, brother. And they have it. Look at the dude in the white shirt. I'm with you, brother. You have my support all the way from California. Let's go.
Mr. President, you got time for 2 more questions?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
Go ahead.
Mr. President, Shelley Winter, how are you, sir?
How are you? Thank you very much.
I wanted to ask you, the debate is tomorrow. Do you think that you will get, what many of my listeners are asking me, do you think that you will get a fair shot from Jake Tapper and Dana Bash? Do you think you'll get fake Tapper, right?
Fake Tapper, right? Yeah.
Do you think and Don Bash?
Repeat that question, please.
Do you
Do you
think
think
you'll
you're
get
going to get a fair shot from Jake Tapper and Dana Bash tomorrow night?
Well, I think it would be good for them if they did it. I think probably not. You know, it's very interesting. During the primary, CNN covered me, very, very tough, but they covered me all the time. And I won it very quickly. I won it in record time. And Byron knows that, and Ben knows that. They were all there, and Wesley was there. Wesley, good job on television this morning, by the way.
Oh, thank you,
But
sir.
they were all there. We won it in record. So now I'm making my speech to, accept everything and to acknowledge the victories and all. And CNN started off, and then they ended. Jay Tapper said, "All right, that's enough. We're not going to listen to him." So they cover the whole primary, but they don't cover my victory speech. So am I going to get it fair? Probably not. But it would be very good for CNN. They're having a lot of ratings problems. I think it would be very good for CNN, actually, in terms of its credibility. It'll be interesting to see.
Yep.
All right, last question, Mr. President. Coach?
Yes, Mr. President, how are we doing today, sir?
Hi, Coach.
All right. My question is, in the black community, it's been made a big deal about how you have been kind of railroaded here as far as your court cases go and everything.
Yeah.
And the support that you'll receive from the black community is kind of like a sympathetic kind of support, because it's understood that we've received similar, not even similar, but basically we've been railroaded since the day we came here. We felt that way, right? So if you can acknowledge that you're getting support from black people because of this, then we can kind of acknowledge that we have been getting railroaded. So my question is, what can you do about those Alvin Braggs on your side that have been doing such railroading from the time? What can we do about those Fonnie Willises and Alvin Braggs that are right now sending some poor black person to jail for some crime that they're doing?
Well, it's an amazing thing when this happened. And as you saw, all the legal scholars say these are not cases. These are not cases that should be brought. It's just a terrible thing. It's weaponization. And it comes out of the White House, even when it's city and state, comes out of the White House in order to attack a political opponent. But since that happened, the black support, I think my representatives will tell you this.
The blacks. I'm telling you, if there's one thing that is a little bit cringy for me, it's when Donald Trump says, the blacks and the Latinos. I know he comes from a good place, but still, it's still a little cringy, man. He's still a little cringy, but nobody's going to tell him that. It's the president.
The black support has gone through the roof. And I guess they equate it to problems that they've had. But since this has happened, like the mugshot is the best. It just beat Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra by a lot, by the way. Beat it by a lot. But that's the number one mugshot of all time. It's really an amazing thing. Since it happened, the support among the black community and the Hispanic community has skyrocketed. It's been amazing. Really been amazing. It's been actually very nice to see.
Well, as you can see, they ask really good questions, and I'm very happy that Trump brought those things up, because it's just when the black community has been railroaded by the system for many years, and now we get to publicly see it happen consistently over a 2.5-year process, we're going to get behind a person like that. And to have this group of men sitting together gives me a sense of pride that there is going to be a community of strong black men going into the communities of strong black men that have to deal with the communita and bring the vote back to the people. Dave Chappelle once said, you know who's going to save this country? Black men. Because we're the forgotten patriots. Most of us are conservative. It's just that sometimes going against the matriarchy is very hard for us, so we get up getting caught in the loop of voting against our best interests. But once we step off the plantation, and for some of us like myself become excommunicado, you start to wake up to what life could be like when you think as a free American patriot who really cares about the prosperity of this country. And as I see that, as I see us going forward, and Byron Donalds and Wesley Hunts and Ben Carsons coming together to bring this message to the men, it's giving me a sense of pride in this country, because this is not a Republican message. This is a MAGA message. This is a Lions message. You know what I'm saying? We're no elephants. We're no donkeys. We're lions. That's the MAGA message. So I just want to speak my love and my understanding to everybody out there in the world that's looking forward to November 5th, 2 days after my birthday, by the way. And I want my birthday present to be Donald Trump as president, so we can swing the pendulum back to the middle. It's too far left right now. Too far left. We need to get it back to the center, because that's being centered is where America prospers and it makes a better world. So I'm very happy about this conversation. I'm looking forward to the debates on Thursday. Trump's gonna get railroaded, we know it. But if anybody can go in there prepared for the unprepared, it's Donald Trump. So let's get this, Trump 2024. Ooh, here we go again. Thank you guys again for watching Dino Reacts. And as always, if you like my content, like, comment, and subscribe. And always, chef's kiss. Mwah.